our book, and then we started asking ourselves, what questions do our people need to know? And so before we knew it, we ended up with a melanated book, or a book for people of color. And that's because there are so many different physiological differences between melanated and those that are melanated recessive. So if you take a European, your bones would be 10 times denser, or hemoglobin level is going to be different. You have more selenium in your melanin cells, where they have more sulfur. That is why when they get wet, they give off that certain smell of odor. They also have more sulfur, in their body. So what we find is with the sulfur and with the other differences, like we have more veins, more extensive external system here, where we have more veins and arteries. Veins which allow, mixed with the melanin, our connection with our nerves, we're able to get messages to our brain a lot faster. It's called a muscle response. But if it's clogged up with the wrong kind of eating of the food, it is not going to happen. And what's really important is that Europeans have more worms or parasites to break down their food or metabolize it, where we don't have that. That's why it's very important that we eat food that supports our body and not someone else's. Okay?
Very important.
And also, I wanted to add that one of the main reasons I thought it was important for us to write the books, because for, may as well say, 47 years, I not only took care of myself, I took care of all of my friends throughout in my 20s, the children, and a lot of people would get sick. And it's because they were eating in different restaurants. I didn't eat in restaurants because of the grease and the oils. I had an opportunity to, when people had their children back in the 80s, a lot of the parents, they were having, challenges, especially on crack cocaine and different things like that. And because I had food every day for my children, I was feeding those children. So I have been so blessed, to be able to help so many people. In my 40s, after my children got older, I'd gone back to college, and I connected after my divorce from my children's father, 18 years. Some of my friends in their 40s, they were having a lot of health issues. So I was working as a library technician. So I needed to make extra money because I bought a new car and I had to pay rent. So I prepared food to help my friends by making African stew, cornbread. I would make wild rice, quinoa, all the spices, and it would actually detox them. And just about anyone who eat this food, guess what? They all lose 10 pounds. Wow. And it's up to them to take it from there. That's all I'm supposed to do is introduce this. That's when my husband said we're going out of business. We're in business to go out of business. Because after we do what we're doing here, then it's time for us to do something else.
Now, I'd like to interject that, our belief, the reason why we're doing this is because we believe in America, with all the suffering that's going on, the only way we're really truly going to help to alleviate that is to strengthen Africa. Because here you have the resources. Here you have the people that have the strength. It's amazing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But shoot, some of our workers that are here, our trainees, they're a lot stronger than I am.
Hello.
And you have the genius. The only challenge we find is that you've been eating the wrong type of food that does not support your body and your brain. So we also believe that when you eat better, you're going to think better. And when you think better, you're going to make better life choices. Those choices are going to reflect upon your family, your community, your tribe, your nation, and ultimately the world. And we would also like for you to know that the reason we wrote these books is that no matter what your color is, whether you're melanin recessive or melanin dominant, if you follow the book, follow it and change your lifestyle, you're going to open up your pineal gland. which is gonna allow you to feel more and be human. And since we've gotta live on this planet together, I see this as a wonderful vehicle for making that happen.
So how would one go about purchasing a book or accessing these books? Like I met you face to face and I purchased the book face to face. So how would...
We also have them here at our home for sale, and then also can be purchased in 10 Book 2 here in the Gambia, as well as you can go on Amazon. Usually the folks in the UK and America, it's a lot easier for them to go on to Amazon.
Yeah,
Time.
I can still go on Amazon from here.
Yes.
I got PayPal, so
Yes,
I
you
just-
can do that,
yeah.
or you can the ebooks. You can also download them on a tablet.
And in America,
Kindle.
you can
Yeah.
order the book at any bookstore.
excellent.
Yes, and that's why in any city or country we live, we can also bring them to that store,
Yeah.
bookstore.
Well, this is good because BlaXit family is worldwide. I mean, literally worldwide. Sometimes I hear from people and they're in like West Papua, you know,
Wow.
and yeah, West Papua supporters. I'm a free West Papua, campaigner, 100%.
I don't know where that is.
It's wow, it's
Sounds
like
ignorant.
250 kilometers off the north coast of Australia.
Ah.
Ah.
It's not far from Papua New Guinea because they were annexed,
Mm.
illegally as usual when it comes to invasion and of course the usual colonization. And that's what's going on in West Papua right now is the people are fighting, for their independence, for their right to self-determination in West Papua, and the food there is amazing. Also, just to connect
They
it
have
in.
good food there.
Yeah, because they left West Africa 75,000 years ago, and they have retained.
Their
And
ancestors' food.
That's right.
Kept the
So
culture.
important.
And right now the problem is that they've now been invaded and taken over by the Indonesians, and they're going through genocide.
Wow.
And I've got to shout out to Benny Wenda, Chief Benny Wenda, and to the United Liberation Movement for the freedom of West Papua, 100%. So connect this back to where we're going from, is that if those people did not have that nature diet, they wouldn't be fighting where they're fighting now. Because you know what he told me, and it's always kept with me. I asked Benny about his life in West Papua. I'm going slightly off course, but it's to bring us back on course. And he told me, I said to him, so what's your main concern? And he said to me, the jungle is our supermarket.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, that we don't have supermarkets, we have gardens.
Yes, exactly. That's the way.
And if you destroy our jungles, you destroy our forests, you destroy our gardens,
You destroy your way of life.
you destroy your way of life, because many of the companies that went out there to go and mine for gold, Freeport Moran, an American company, chopped off mountains, and people were saying, well, why didn't you go and get these resources? They said, we can't eat gold.
Oh.
We cannot eat gold. And this is the thing. You see? It reminds me of that film, Avatar.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
When they went there, you understand?
That's
and
right.
broke the whole
We've seen that
ecosystem.
again. It's
And that's why it's important for us to be here in Africa with the abundant soil,
that's
with
right.
the ability to farm and to have agriculture lands, because food has to be at the absolute center of our existence.
Right, right.
Very important.
Yeah, and that's why, with the young people, we really appreciate training them, because if I don't train and share this, it's going to come a day that I won't be able to prepare the food myself, this type of food, because it takes hours. And young people, they're strong enough, and if they can put the food out there, people will buy it. They may not buy it right now here in the Gambia because it's still new. We're still introducing this. We're still coming from colonization, when we've been eating colonizers' food. But now we can, those of us who got sick, what makes us change is our illnesses. If I've never gotten sick, I will still be eating my French fries, hamburgers, and all of that because it's quick. I was able to get to classroom, go to work. It was fine, but it was, unfortunately, it wasn't what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to have gotten this sickness and to heal myself and to help others that are getting sick at 40 and 50. I don't understand, maybe because of the longevity. You know, because of our background, we probably, like my mom did nurse me. So since I was a nurse, I had more illnesses and allergies. And that's why I have to do this on a daily basis, just to make sure I'm putting in something that my body wasn't required and didn't get during the times of.
So is it important to breastfeed? I know we're
Very
getting
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
Why
important.
is it so important? Because I see a lot of mothers now just giving children formula.
Yeah, see.
And so what's the importance of breastfeeding? Because it's very African and traditional
Oh,
to
absolutely.
breastfeed, and here it's very natural to see a woman take out her
Take
breast
breast.
in the middle of the market or anywhere
In
and
the
feed their
classroom,
child.
teaching.
And I love that. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just seems so absolutely natural. It's not
Natural.
like there's no kind of, like in England, and I think, I'm not too sure about America, because I've only been there a few times and I lived there for a short time, but there doesn't seem to be any taboo around natural breastfeeding, naturally nurturing your children here,
Mhm.
naturally loving your children here, having a child-centered environment here, which is much different to the West.
Yes, we've been
You see.
indoctrinated a little differently, and
Mhm.
in terms of indoctrination, there are a number of folks that are coming here from America, and just because they were able to, as some say, escape, it does not mean that they left behind their spiritual and their mental trauma. And one of the things we were talking to you about before is healing that needs to take place. And one of the steps in doing that is changing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, nursing is very important because those first 6 weeks, the colostrum that's in the breast
Mhm.
is what's required for us to have that first nourishment. You know, like hemp milk is important. But is it breast milk? All these different milks are very important. And after they said, if you just give them the 6 weeks,
Mhm.
then they're able to sustain whatever requirements to help with the organs, the brains, and so forth. And then if you can go as what I did with my second and third son, I nursed them until they were 2 years old.
Wow.
And they were strong. Not all the time. I nursed them after maybe 6 or 7 or 8 months, in the mornings, during the night, and also evenings when I returned from work. And it worked just as well because they didn't ever really have to take the cow's milk. And the middle child, he would refuse. So I couldn't really leave him with anyone because I had to be available for him, which was good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to skip to the questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it short and snappy now,
Yes.
and very direct and to the point. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about, everybody's got their core values. Some people might call it beliefs. Some people might call it knowledge system. Some people, might call it their way of life. What is yours? What is your structure and way of thinking?
Mhm. Well, in terms of my beliefs, I believe that we all are one, that we're enabled by the Most High Creator, and there's not a spot that's outside of this. We're all expressions of the common good, God, Most High, and we play different parts. And that is why I encourage people that even though we're in a situation now where it's being brought out that there are some folks that, more of a reptilian nature that are doing what they're doing, we're still one. And if we send love out to them, we help to raise their vibration so they can't do some of the things they used to do. That's my core belief. And my core belief is for everyone, not just here on planet Earth, but the multiverse.
Mhm.